Hello, I'm Keith Kreischer, the Executive Director of the IoT M2M Council, or IMC, here with my good friend Jared Deith, the Chief Revenue Officer of Core, one of the big connectivity providers in the IoT sector. Jared, we're here at the big show, CES 26. Core's got a big presence. How's the show going?
Yeah, first of all, appreciate you having me. It's a great conversation to be here with you guys as always. I mean, look, it's CES. It's the largest tech show, arguably globally. We're excited to have a ton of our customers here. That's been a real nice thing. It's always great to be able to get in front of them without having to fly and crisscross around the entire country. And of course, there's great business development opportunities around here. We walk around. It's so funny. We have such our ecosystem, right? That you and I, and then you walk around here, and it's just incredible. The advances in robotics and where we can sort of play a role with some of those companies and how connectivity works for them. Sometimes not relevant whatsoever, sometimes super relevant. So again, great to see folks. And
as we're speaking, we can hear the drones flying.
Yeah, they're zipping around. There's electric motorcycles out there, right? We have a couple customers in that space, so it's been great.
Hey, Core offers a wide range of products and services. You guys obviously do connectivity, that's sort of where you come from, but you've also got device solutions, managed services. Talk to us a little bit about how all that fits together.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest differentiators for us, of course, beyond sort of our carrier integrations, what we're doing with SGP32, is our ability to offer kind of the full stack. So when a customer needs to come in, they need a piece of hardware or some type of widget, they need that component kitted in a certain way, shipped to different countries, things like that. Normally they're working with a fragmented ecosystem, they're having to work with multiple different partners. We're able to kind of bring that together into one. So it's a big part of our business, and again, it gives customers sort of that single entry point to be able to get what they need. Now sometimes we're not going to be able to solve every challenge, but I'd say it's a key differentiator from our perspective, and something our customers want us to do. We're in the connectivity business, make no mistake, but those solutions and those components lead to connectivity business, and customers want to do business with one party. So if we can give them that as a side course, right, as part of our overall offering, that's how we look at that.
Right, great stuff. Everybody knows that IoT deployments are complex things. You're dealing with multiple layers of the stack. What are some of the biggest challenges that companies trying to deploy IoT are facing, and how is Core specifically helping to simplify some of that?
Yeah, I think there's two things. There's what we're dealing with out there, and then the simplification. And I'll take the first one first, which is, the macro environment is changing dramatically. I mean, you look at what happened in Venezuela not even a week ago, and having a global, local kind of offering. Core's pedigree is local carrier integrations, Brazil, Australia, all these challenging areas. And when you're dealing with enterprise or multinational corporations, they need uninterrupted connectivity, but they also need to be able to have a local offering where all these regulatory compliance challenges exist. So again, being able to come to us, we have those profiles, we're in all of those very challenging markets, again, Brazil, India, UAE, and others. That's a big thing because, and again, we have a lot of great peers in the business. I love being a part of your organization or this organization and seeing everyone. But just having like a multi-IMSI SIM, it's not enough anymore. Right. In a world, it started with carrier native, and then it moved to this multi-IMSI. It's redundant, it's cheaper. You have all these different things, but globalization is sort of moving in a different direction. We're moving more towards this nationalization protective area. And for that, we have to be ready to make sure that we can service customers in those tough geos. And that's a big thing you'll get when you come with Core.
You mentioned reliable connectivity. What does that really mean today, and how is it a differentiator, more specifically for Core?
For Core, yeah, I mean, look, it's there's a few things. It's making sure you have the right carrier partners, right? It's the most important thing of our business is having those partners there to support us. The other thing is what type of tech stack we're on. So you think about how SGP32 is evolving. It's whether that's an active profile, so you're keeping two profiles active versus two IMSIs. It's a different approach, and I would say that reliability. It always has to just work. Our job is I'm starting to say this. We want to make IoT boring. It should just work. Right. Everything should just work essentially. So in that sense, having the different relationships that we have, the tech stack, having breakouts across the globe, data centers across the globe, I think makes us a very good choice to go with when it comes to ensuring reliability. And again, that's very important. When you're an MVNO and you're sourcing your connectivity partner, that's a big thing.
Right.
What's their uptime? What is their fail-safe? What happens if they have an IPX interconnect go down? Like, these things happen. That's a critical part of how we evaluate these folks. Is not just price, right? You go to some of the MNOs, you talk to them, and there's always a pricing discussion, but you are also buying quality. And I think it's important, in the industry, for all of our peers as a whole, to make sure that we're looking at that, because not all sponsors, carriers, MNOs are created equally.
Right. How do you see the IoT ecosystem evolving, specifically from the point of view as a connectivity partner? I mean, how is connectivity fitting into all of that?
Yeah, I mean, look, every year more and more devices need to use more and more data. You think about the advance in AI, the question will be how much of that compute is happening at the edge versus how much of that compute's happening server side. The more compute occurring server side, the more data that needs to be sent over a Wi-Fi network, a 5G network, right? Like that's part of the thesis there. I think it's upside. I think that you're going to see usage is going to increase, and I also think you're getting to a point with the module costs and with the connectivity costs that, think about if you're a Boston Dynamics and you have the Atlas robot, the cost to have connectivity in that unit is like a rounding error. Right. Compared to building it. So, if your whole device costs $20, well, connectivity could double your cost. What we're finding is, especially in asset track, other areas, that the cost of the materials and the BOMs of what's being sold out there is getting so expensive that adding connectivity is sort of just becoming, like I said, a little bit of a rounding error. It's complete upside. They throw a module in there, they get it certified, and a lot of the use cases require it. And even if it's not every unit, I think that you're seeing an increased adoption. Again, I've always been a believer, the cheaper module prices are, the more adoption you're going to get. You combine that with the use cases that are evolving, and that's kind of how you end up with this growth trajectory that we've seen.
Of course, that's all happening right now.
It's all happening. It's happening around this show with everybody. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I'm looking at the Digi booth, of course, and I had a great conversation with Ron there and what they're doing on their side. Again, I look around the entire show, and it's unbelievable, the opportunity. Right. It's great.
Hey, thanks so much. Once again, I'm Keith Kreischer of IMC, here with Jared Deith of Core. We're at CES 26.
We're here.
Jared,
Keith,
thanks so much.
It's a pleasure as
Have
always.
A great show.
You too. Thank you so much.